Welcome to the Circle Center. My name is Kate Brown, and this is a poetry sharing book signing event. It's an honor for me to share with you all today, and I won't take up too much of your time. But thanks for coming, and if you have questions, let me know. First of all, this is my poetry book. It's called Music of the Heart. And it's at Amazon and Shariar. I might have another Shariar book event like later next year. Anyways, I'm a closet poet, meaning I've never really shared it much, but I've been writing since I was 12 years old. And I would read tons of poetry, you know, all the great poets. And then in high school and college, writing class was always my favorite. And I first compiled my poetry 24 years ago in a little book that I self-published, but I never made public. I didn't put it out. I just shared it with friends. 24 years later, we come to today. A lot has happened. So I added to it. I edited it. I revised it. I added to it. 2 years ago, both of my parents passed away. That was major, so I've added some stuff in here about that. But I'm going to go over some of the categories, the chapters with you. And I have a nice review on the back from Daniel Ladinsky, who has done a lot of Hafiz translations. And I guess I could start by reading that review. And he quoted one of my poems. He said, here's the quote, "Oh, angels that do know love," says Kate Brown in one of her many stunning passages in this book. And that is what this book is, stunning. Well, my gosh. Yeah. Rarely can we hear the moth's glorious cry, for usually God so covets his lovers, he keeps their mouths pressed to his. Luckily, some break away long enough before they are consumed and inspire the rest of us to near the divine flame. And if you don't know Daniel Ladinsky, he's a Penguin author, and he has a lot of books that he translated on Hafiz. So, Music of the Heart, I'm a musician, that's why I got the title. So these are romantic and spiritual poems, prose, reflections, and aphorisms. So I found that if anybody's, I'm sure y'all have written some poetry, I find that when I write, it becomes a channel for God to actually talk to you. So I feel like it's like God talking to me. You know, it's a link, or myself, my true self, trying to contact myself. Hello, are you there? Hello? What? It's busy? Call back later. Okay. So first I have to give credit to Amazon, because this is a product of Amazon. Anybody can self-publish on Amazon for free, and that's what I did. This was free. Now, how can that be? Well, I did all the work. Of course, I did all the work, but they take a cut when you sell on Amazon. So just to let you know, if you're going to do a book, it's print by demand. You don't have to pay any money up front. Anybody can do a poetry book. It's called KDP Publishing. So don't let publishers, take all your money, because that doesn't have to happen. So we have another acknowledgement by, actually he's my stepbrother. First, I'm going to read my acknowledgments. My acknowledgments are, I'd like to express gratitude to all my friends and family over the years that have read my poetry and encouraged me to make this book. And special thanks to John S. Knox for his patience in the preliminary editing. John is my stepbrother. John holds a MATS in Christian History and Thought and a PhD in Theology and Religion. He has taught for many decades. And he's also an author. I also put in here, I'd like to also thank Mayan and Richard Ward for their support. And if the local community knows, Mayan and Richard Ward have done tons of books on Amazon through the same publishing, tons of Baba books. So they're a great encouragement to make this book happen. And I'd like to thank God for allowing me the opportunity and giving me the heart that looks within. As well, I'd like to extend a standing ovation to all the great poets before me that have inspired me so greatly throughout time. So, in the contents, the list of I had fun. I got to pick out all the fonts. I did all this format. I picked out the cover. Okay, the contents, we have foreword, acknowledgments, introduction, additional foreword. Then we get to the categories, the chapters. We have romance. Ooh. We have spiritual, suffering, life, nostalgia, music, grief, Mother Nature, passages, and then a short story I wrote called The Kingdom by the Sea, which is actually an epic short story, which means the entire story rhymes. Wow. And then I have reflections and aphorisms, and then there's about the author, and the author is me. So I'm just going to cut to the chase, and I'm going to get to some of the category, the chapters, the contents. So as you open the book, there's 100 and maybe 59 pages or something. Each category starts, and then it has a phrase about that category, and then the poem starts. So on romance, it says, in love I seek thee, with love I find me. So I'd like to share with you the first poem, just because I think it's my favorite. But okay, it says, my love. And you can think of your love as your love, your wife, your husband, your dog, your beloved, the Lord, God, Baba, whatever you want. Okay. My love. All the day I think of you, in no matter what I do. Then the evening breeze tells me, night is coming soon. The brilliant sky, ignited orange and red, brings visions of you in my head as a gleaming light circles around the moon. It's at this time I want you most, to feel your breath and hold you close, knowing your skin smooth, warm on mine. Our hearts are ever binded, but to stroke you I would find it to be the end of me and all my time. And as the stars shine on me, I think of your eyes looking to see you in the night sky or somewhere by. On mine I dream your sweet soft lips, your arms loving me as I drown in this kiss. Do you taste the salt of the sea as I cry? Morning brings the light of day, the passion of this love slips away, and I more focused in the truth to be. I love you, my love, with all my heart and soul, and feel by now that you must know that I would die in a second for you to be free. That's the first. Passion, passion, passion. No. I was very influenced by the poet named Lawrence Hope, and he has a book at the beginning of the last century called Indian Love Lyrics. I recommend, it's very, very good, and it has beautiful illustrations. Anyways, so I could read you a poem from each category. Does that sound good? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, so that was romance. Now we're going to go on to the next. And in between, there's little things like, oh, this game of hide and seek. Now you're it, find me. So we'll go to the next category, which is spiritual.
Would you read a little bit slower? I think I can.
I'm sorry, yep. Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Process it.
Okay, spiritual. The divine romance of loving the true self and the self in all.
Wow.
Yeah, heavy. Okay, so how should I do this? I don't know which one to pick. Oh my goodness. Okay, the absolute. This is from the spiritual chapter. The absolute. You who think you know, do not. You who claim to have seen, have yet to see. Do not speak with a tongue that does not see through the eyes of the heart. Listen to the sound of the inner life, which is glistening of the absolute. Here lies one answer to all questions. Then when you know, shall you not speak? Okay, I'm going to go to another chapter. Okay, so now suffering. We all know suffering. Madonash. No. Okay, suffering. Suffering. Troublesome troubles. Flee and weary me not. Okay, so let's do suffering. Blind eyes of man, thou understands not, with the heart thou not sees. You shackle and shame and ridicule me. Thou knows not what ye have done so grave. Condemnation with your verdict, a false assumption you have made. You played a charade and self-gorging masquerade. The plight and pain you've given me will fall 1,000-fold on thee. Blind eyes of man, your karma now is knocking. You cannot outrun God. Like a vulture, he is stalking.
Wow, that's great. Beautiful.
Maybe that was influenced by Edgar Allan Poe, but no. There's other good stuff. Okay, so now we're going to life. The chapter life. It says, wear a smile for good luck.
Wow, I like that.
Wear a smile for good luck. And let me find one here for you. Okay. Life. Painful pleasure, detachment to be free, love unconditionally, unity. 1,000 lifetimes in one life, so the memories make it seem. Changes bring new births, our so-called life in a dream. The journey of growing from known to unknowing, melt down, reshape, then know again. Balance is the key, and you will come to see the scales even out in the end. Cease desires, the true being emerges. Suffering will wear you thin. Impressions burn down, your soul comes around. Go home, unlayer from within.
Wow.
I just remembered that there's one, I even have a poem about the Dooney. There's a poem. Oh my goodness, there's a bunch of kids out there having a great time. There's a poem in the romance section I do want to go back and share because, come, let's dine in the gardens of the seraphs and drink the nectar of this love. It's about marriage or union. It doesn't have to be marriage, it's about union. So I'm going back for a second to the romance section. It's called I Thee Wed. What a blessed fate it is to have love find you, a friend, a lover so familiar, a comfort and ease to be with. Amidst such a cultivated soil, a flower grows, and there is love. Time so swift, life so complicated, but with love there are moments that stand still, and somehow you see simplicity for the first time. If we hold true to ourselves and God, we hold true to one another. If we hold a shared ideal for our life as one, working together, feeding our roots to grow deeper so we may bend with the winds that shake us, we shall not divide. If one is not the melody and the other not the accompaniment, but rather we both harmonize to our song of love, we will make beautiful music.
Beautiful.
If we encourage one another to feed our own individual interest with no reins attached, allowing inner freedom, we shall be bonded and yet not bound. If we love with no conditions the soul, we shall always be there for one another. If we stand to this in agreement, what a union we have made. And if we stand with no questions at all, we have love. And if we live it, how blessed we are.
Wow.
Okay, so now I'm going to go back to where we were. Okay. Nostalgia. Nostalgia. We all live in this head we have full of so much stuff. Every experience we've ever had and everything we have to do every day and all our chores and our work and our relationships and all our responsibilities and all our dreams and all our success and failure and wants and desires and blah, 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 blah. Then we have nostalgia. It was so much better then. I remember when. If only. Okay. But nostalgia is a nice thing because we're processing and taking in all the wonderful things that we've experienced. So, there is a garden. There is a garden I once knew. I would go there every day. I miss it more than I could ever say. It was a friend whose freshness put at ease this old heart. In its silence it spoke to me more clearly than words of men. A peaceful bit of land where I and the earth were one. I wonder if it misses me too. There is a garden I once knew. Every bough of each tree, did I say that right or is it bough?
Oh,
Bow, good. Every bough of each tree would softly speak to me. Come rest here and find peace in nature. Commune with the divine. Replenish your soul so to face the cosmic illusory world. Recharge here in the garden of Allah. Angels sit silently, yet are plentiful. Keep company with them, for they know you well. There are angels everywhere. Okay, music. Listen from the inner spheres. Let's find a poem on music. Troubadour. Troubadour, your journey lies within, soaring on astral melodious winds, chords infinite sustained from the heavens, strong then fade. Pray thee here with thy heart, the journey ends where it did start. As the knight that trails alone, aye, is never of his own. He will encounter many to guide home, to the inner resounding Om, from pulse, vein to bone. To his spirit's very call, behold, behold, the minstrel in us all.
Wow.
Grief. O angels that do know love, I beseech thee. My shadowing fault. My life does but thirst for life. I long to feel the sunrise, yet only see fading colors. I look for my smiling God, yet only feel weaknesses and heart that weeps. O angels that do know love, I beseech thee, bestow upon my spirit your grace of eternal light, that may shine my path and cast out my spell of darkness. My light sought is calling its time, for my shadowing fault is on a dead end, and that it is, and is trying to make it mine. Mother Nature, kneel to Our Lady.
Yeah.
Kneel to Our Lady.
Oh.
Gotta find one here. How about Atacama? Atacama. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's a desert in Africa. No, in Chile. Yeah. Atacama. You are the desert that leads to the sea. This image came to me when I was writing. A desert that leads to the sea. And I had to look it up. Where is a desert that leads to the sea? Well, it's this place. You are the desert that leads to the sea. I know my mind within your spirit, completely undeceived. You call to me. Call me to mission through your hard sands with no water, but with any wellness in my life. To the beach I must transcend, to the sea, the source, to the sea. Atacama, you play no havoc with me, no mirages, for I see through them. You and I are truly one and the same wind, swiftly seeking its king to instill. A Bedouin of Chile, the desert that meets the sea. The two alone contain the highest glory, and where they meet lies divinity. What elation! The mind may rest. Okay, I gotta throw in this one, there's a fun one here called Recycle and Ride a Bicycle. Recycle this and recycle that. Save that cloth now, we can use it as a hat. Reuse that can, why sure we can. Save money too and keep a clean land. Glass too, you know it's the hip thing to do. Metal and cardboard and rubber too. Why throw it all away? We're running out of space and it smells worse every day. So give our economy and world a break. Reuse it, redo it, recycle, renew it. Paper, a must to redo. For each sheet of paper equals a tree or two. Ozone, what have we done? Alas, we are the guilty ones. Chemicals, major blah. Take them to the right place now. Come on, it's the law. Recycle, give me those hand-me-downs. Together we'll keep the earth spinning round. Plant trees, save the atmosphere. Global warming is much too hot. Let's make it disappear. Make every day Earth Day.
Wow. Beautiful.
So I put a little fun in there, you know. So the truth is that, somebody new coming in. Yeah. So that one, the one that I just read, it reminds me of Dr. Seuss. And the truth is Dr. Seuss was a huge influence on my life as a writer, because I read so much Dr. Seuss when I was young. And like really young. But I also write songs and song lyrics, and so it all has to flow very much like Dr. Seuss with the rhythm and the timing and the meter and hey. So Anyway, so we're talking about my book, Music of the Heart. We're going over we're almost actually done. We're almost actually done. Okay, so the next content is, the next content is passages. Passages. Kindness, do good, and goodness will be yours. So, passages. There's a couple in here I'd like to share. Well, there's actually, let's see, it's hard to decide. Okay. Destiny. Destiny. Tread each path and time will tell which one will fade, which one wears well. Is it mapped? Oh, navigate. What will last too soon, too late? Destiny, destiny, are you fate? I decide, yet know not why. The past creates the route at nigh. Lead me straight, be friend, not foe. Your bends foretell, I too oft know. Destiny, destiny, may I write the story of my own delight. I'm going to just read one more from this same chapter. This is Le Pont d'Argenteuil. This is about a painting. Le Pont d'Argenteuil, an image to feel. Your waters quench this spirit, begging for your still peace, sailing innerly to your warm skies. But how to recapture the time? Oils, canvas, and brush stole your moment, making you everlasting. Still gazing at you, I fancy being there somehow that fine day, the day you were immortalized by the strokes of Claude Monet.
Wow, love that.
It's a beautiful painting. Okay. Within lies the world of spirit. The heart alone unveils the infinite. Sojourn, a journey awaits. Another time, another place, another life. And so begins the story, The Kingdom by the Sea. So now we're at the short story, The Kingdom by the Sea, which is an epic story. It's a long story. I'll just read you the first page, which is very short. Long, long, very long ago, an ugly, mean king ruled an ancient throne. The peasants were ridiculed and their lives were unfair from the king and queen's greed and lack of decency to care. The castle, it was lavish on a hill by the sea. The king treated all as slaves, and wonder did he, why do my people disrespect my royalty? There were 3 men most important to the king. These 3 men accounted for nearly everything. One was a sailor who sailed brave and strong. He exchanged foreign goods, helping kingdoms get along. I have to just get this. The other was the king's highest knight of arms. He protected the castle and watched for alarm. The third was a messenger traveling far and wide. He carried many letters, on a pony he did ride. Now the sailor grew nebulous from all the king did order. He could not continue to navigate through disputing kingdoms that did border. And the knight became quite bitter, protecting one whom he himself would like to attack. His resentment towards the king grew stronger, and his loyalty began to lack. The messenger, a courageous fool was he, began to read and rewrite the letters to and from the king. He had simply had it with all the cruelty his lordship did bring. Well, the king was bright and caught on quick he did. He expelled the 3 men and shouted, "Death or remain hid." the sailor knight and messenger were all not that dumb. They headed for the woods and sought a new life to come. So that's how the story begins, and you'll have to read it and find out what happens. Then we come to the section of reflections and aphorisms. And does everybody know what an aphorism is?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So there's several pages of this, but I'll just read you a few. And it's hard to choose one. If the heart is based in goodness and light, no matter what one passes through, each footstep will be guided. Make me of your wish, O Lord, to die by your divine kiss. May I be keen to your footprints, Lord. May you take over the wheel, for when I go my way, I run into walls and my head hurts. After all the stands and falls, the wise man sits. Song in my heart, wind in my sails, what magical key will transpose you? In a note lies a symphony. Within the soul is the infinite song of the universe. There lies real joy and peace. Tap into it. Totally uncertain, quite certainly. Love is the true physician. Patience and understanding breed acceptance. Surrendering is the constant emission of accepting with no expecting. That's something to ponder. And cheerfulness spreads divinity, share a smile. It just goes on and on. I think it takes getting sick to get well. We all know that. Yeah. So anyways, then we have about the author. So about the author, which is me. Catherine Brown, my name is. I use my full name, Catherine Brown, but I'm Kate. Catherine Brown, Kate, has written poetry since she was 12 years old. She was inspired by many great poets before her, such as her favorite poet, Lawrence Hope. Kate also has written many song lyrics as well. If she didn't have to work, if she didn't have to work, she would probably write poetry and sing all day long, strolling through open meadows, living the life of a romantic, mystic minstrel. Kate enjoys gardening, animals, pets, friends, performing music and acting in local theaters, and spending time with family. She plays piano, guitar, and sings, and she is a church pianist and music teacher and a health coach who promotes magnesium.
Yes.
Let's hear it for magnesium. Woo! Give me a capital M. There.
A.
Kate, Kate is an aspirant of and influenced by the Eastern Master Avatar Meher Baba and the Catholic faith. She grew up in Oregon and Washington, USA, and now resides in the southern East Coast. So, woo! So also I have a winner of Editor's Choice Award on Poetry.com. Yeah. So anyways, that's the book. I think I gave you a pretty good taste of it. We got some questions. Yeah.
Yes. Did you write any poem about your mother?
I did.
Could you read that?
Yes.
Because
Okay.
we all liked your mom. She was very special.
Yeah, Judy asked if I had written anything about my mom, and she knew my mom. A lot of people knew my mom. She was a Baba person who lived here a long time, and she passed away 2 years ago.
Excuse me.
So I did write about my mom. I gotta find it. It's in the section on, it's either in the section on death or suffering. I think here it is.
Or it could be both.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm projecting.
So it's in the section on grief. So it's all the poems are numbered. This is number 83. It's titled Mother, and you knew my mom. You all knew my mom. My mother's name was Faith Knox. Okay, it says Mother. What could replace a mother's love? Caring, providing, nurturing, always on call to respond. Mother is there, taking care, every need. Mother, ground beneath my feet, connection to the earth. Mutually the reason for being. I cherish the parts of you that are alive in me. And when I asked you to tell me your life story, dear mother, you replied, you are my life story. You were my biggest cheerleader and my strength to carry on. Now, Mother in heaven, I walk alone, or closer to God by my side, the real mother and father, God. Still, what could replace a mother? To be a mother. We raise each other. I never dreamt of a world without you. Death takes the body, but the spirit lives on. Not a bird chirps without the thought of you.
Beautiful.
Yeah. She loved birds, as did you. Yeah, you love birds. And it's true, it's like not a bird chirps without the thought of her. Yeah, it was hard. My dad passed away in December 2021, and then my mother passed away in August 2022.
Me too. That's when I lost my mother.
Wow, so devastating. It's really hard. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you, me too.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So are you taking more questions?
Sure.
So how old were you when you wrote the Kingdom by the Sea?
I was in high school. She asked how old was I when I wrote The Kingdom by the Sea. And I was in high school, and we used to have a class in high school that was called study hall, where you could do your homework or whatever. It was just a class to come in and read. And actually, that's where I read my first Baba book, because I had already gotten the books. I brought my mom to Baba, too. I was my mother's link. But I read God to Man in my high school study hall.
God to man, man to God, that one?
Yeah, God to Man, Man to God.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, Mom, you gotta read this. She was like, oh wow, we gotta go to Myrtle Beach. Oh, we gotta go to India. So, yeah, so I wrote that in high school, yeah. And then, wait, did I write that? I must have started in high school. There's one, I finished in India so like I graduated in 1986 from high school, and then I went to India a lot. And when I was there, like in '88, I was still working on that, I think. I showed it to Erico. You remember Erico?
Yeah.
Because I had another short story that I had written about a walkabout around Australia, a walkabout, which is really a story about God. But Erico read my story, and he gave me an A-. And I thought, okay, I wasn't expecting anything, but he was just teasing me, you know.
That's great.
But yeah, he was a fun guy. And Mohammed, of course, Mohammed.
Did you have any experiences with Muhammad?
I did. It's actually Richard and Mayan just did a book on Muhammad stories, and my experiences in there, as are many people's experiences. It's short, I can tell you. I mean, I used to go by there and you know, kind of, you know, people would walk by the old Dharamshala where Muhammad was with Erico. And Gabe took care of Muhammad for quite some time. And so I was talking to Erico, and I was sharing with him my poetry and stuff, and I wanted to ask him if I could take a picture of Muhammad. And before I could ask, one of the servants walked by Eriko's door and handed him a photo of Mohammed, and he said, "Mohammed wants you to give this to Kate."
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would watch him, you know, just, he'd be out on the porch digging these, you know, just whatever he was doing. So who are the poets that have influenced you all? Anybody have a favorite poet out there? Shakespeare, Edgar Allan Poe, Emily
Hafiz.
Dickinson.
Hafiz and Rumi.
Hafiz, well, you can't go wrong. Yeah. Hafiz and Rumi, yeah.
Jim Morrison.
Yes! Woo! Yes.
Jim Morrison, he was a poet. He didn't know it. No, he was a poet.
I like
Yeah.
Auden.
I'm sorry?
Auden. W.H. Auden.
Auden is A-U-D-E-N.
No. Yeah. He's mid.
I don't know
English. Auden, A-U-D-E-N.
I don't know. Yeah, okay, I'll have to look that up. I had a book, I should have brought it. I have a couple old books. One was my mom's. She probably got it at a thrift store 100 years ago. It was literally in 1907. And it has all love poems. And anytime I see the word love poems, I'm, you know. And since I was a child, I would read that, you know. But Lawrence Hope was real, like I said, my main influence. But Edgar Allan Poe, Annabel Lee, you know, I mean, these poems are the raven knocking at the door, you know. It's like, but Dr. Seuss, he was
Yes.
the best poet,
Best.
the best.
The best.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I find that when I read or when I write poetry, it's a real meditation, a real channel to connect yourself to the higher spirit, to your real self, or just to find peace and calm from all the craziness in the world that is just, oh, turn off the TV, give me some quiet, give me some inner, real quality peace, because the world's so crazy. And it's a nice place to go. Not that I'm trying to hide or escape, because I'm very much in the world and I work all the time. I just came from work. I've been working all day. And I'm very, very much in the world. But, you know, you have to recharge. You have to recharge your spirit. You have to, because it's all spirit. And we lose that. And then we start going crazy, or we're unhappy, or we're depressed, or we're this, and we don't know what it is. What is it? We're actually missing our own spirit. How do you find it? Maybe you don't find it in poetry. Maybe you find it by taking a vacation. Maybe you find it by being with a friend or a relative, or having a cup of tea, or walking your dog. Whatever. Find your spirit.
That's right.
Find what gives you your own spirit, because that's what's going to recharge that inside you, make you happy and peaceful and calm. Then you can face another day. So this is available at Shariar. It's available here, and it's available on Amazon. So I thank you all for coming, and I'm just happy to share with you. Peace. Peace and love. All right. And Jai Baba.